And we are here at San Diego Comic Con, guys, with the one and only Jeremy Girard from Four Horsemen Studios. What's up, Jeremy? How's everything?
Everything is absolutely awesome. My first time in San Diego, my first time in San Diego Comic Con, of course. I'm having an absolute blast. We are having a blast. It's been incredible. This is our first time back in about 8 years, and the San Diego crowd has treated us so well.
Man, it's my first time too. It is crazy. I never experienced something like this. I mean, listen, I'm used to Legions Con, which is big, but it's a totally different vibe.
Totally different.
Like when I'm at Legions Con, I feel that I'm like at my home with my family. Here is like I'm in a carnival. It is insane.
It's crazy. I mean, even big shows that we've done, like MegaCon that we do in Orlando, it just nothing compares to San Diego Comic Con. It's incredible.
It is nuts, but you know what? What is even more nuts? The reaction of the people with these exclusive.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
Awesome.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. Before I was like YouTube, Instagram, whatever. I was a Mythic Legions collector, and this thing is flying in less than 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Like people are making lines, spending the night in order to get your guys exclusive. That's like I would say for coming back to San Diego Comic Con, that's a statement.
It's been, so last time we were here 8 years ago, if you think about the size of the Mythic Legions line and the size of Four Horsemen Studios 8 years ago, very, very different. We would bring product and not sell it all. So the fact that San Diego Comic Con has given us like line handlers, like we actually have staff that is having to help us manage our lines in the morning. That is insane to be at that level, next to Mezco here, it's next to Lego and Mattel and Hasbro, Tamashii Nations. To be in this area and get that type of treatment and have this kind of crowd has been absolutely phenomenal.
Listen,
humbled.
Your line is on pair with Mezco, is on pair with the Hallmark line. Is insane also.
I know,
guys, let me tell you, like Mythic Legions Four Horsemen Studio line was insane. They were making like cap lines and stuff like that. That's crazy. How I would say, what's your take on this? Like, what's your impression? Like what do you guys think about the reaction on people?
The reaction's been amazing. When we stopped coming here 8 years ago, we were a very small company, and it just didn't make sense for us to come to San Diego Comic Con. We were a tiny, tiny fish in this huge pond, and it didn't make sense. And then, that's why we changed it. We started doing G-Con and everything to do our reveals that way. But for the last few years, as we've grown, we've kept saying, is it time to return to San Diego? Should we be back? And then this year we said, we're going to give it a shot. We're going to go back, and to be here and to get this type of reaction, to have people genuinely thanking us for coming back, to see the love we're getting, it really makes us realize that, we have achieved something pretty special. We are still a small independent toy company, but to be around some of these big players and to be holding our own and getting this type of love is incredibly humbling and exciting.
That's incredible, and I mean, you guys deserve that. I mean, you guys are like the GOATs. You pretty much design action figures for most of the companies that are here
a lot
in the past and in the future.
Yeah, I mean, we used to. That's a very small part of our business these days. When we first started, we were primarily a design studio working for Mattel and later Super 7 and everything. We've done work for so many toy companies over the years, but in the last decade, with the success of the Mythic Legions line, our business has really shifted to being primarily now about our original IPs, which is very, very cool. Because as much as we love working for other companies and getting to work on properties like Masters of the Universe and DC and everything, there's nothing like putting your own ideas out into the world. As creators, that's incredibly fulfilling, and our audience has been so supportive, allowing us to do that.
Well, talking about new lines, new stuff from Four Horsemen Studios. I mean, we're just not talking about Mythic Legions, Cosmic Legions, Figure Obscura, you name it. All the lines that you guys have. But now we're getting into a new realm of entertainment.
Yeah, Mythic Legion's the role-playing game. So a big part of what we are doing here in San Diego is kind of debuting Mythic Legions, the role-playing game. Now, we teased this at Legions Con in November, but this is the biggest showing we've had so far for the game, and it makes a lot of sense for us because for years we had people say, oh, this stuff is so cool. It reminds me of my Dungeons and Dragons character. I can build my Dungeons and Dragons character with your figures. I played Dungeons and Dragons when I was a kid. I loved it. D&D has it's a big part of the DNA that influenced Mythic Legions in the first place. So to be able to actually create our own role-playing game, and it's totally created in-house. One of our studio painters, Cameron Smith, is also our lead creator on the game. It's been really, really rewarding to get out here to show people. People seem very excited for it, not only for that debut figure. You looked at the heroic paladin cleric. That's the debut figure from the game that we have here, but we've announced that the Kickstarter for the game will go live in February, and we are using Kickstarter mainly because Kickstarter is a wonderful platform for tabletop role-playing games. We want our Legions audience to enjoy this. They're going to get to be more immersive in the realm of Mythos, but we also want people outside of the Legionnaires to experience this, and Kickstarter is going to be a great way for those people to discover it.
No, for sure, 100%. And talking about that Kickstarter, do you guys have any price in mind for the base offering or anything like that? I mean, I know it's kind of like early, but I mean, you always plan everything ahead, and I know you may have some info about it.
We're still figuring out what the price is going to be. It would be premature to say it now because these are new price categories for us, printing books like this, doing all these game materials. There's going to be like a beginner box, for instance. So very popular aspect of role-playing games is, especially for people that are not already playing, is a beginner box where it's everything all in one. You get, a basic rule book, you get a basic adventure, you get some dice, you get some pre-rolled characters, some minis, things like that. That's what we're planning. We're getting prices on all of that from our factories so we can come up with that price for the Kickstarter. But there will also be figures involved in it as well. The figure that we have here is kind of a deluxe version that will also be part of the Kickstarter. San Diego's only your first chance to get it, not your only chance. But there's also going to be a number of other figure offerings that I think people are going to be very excited about, both in terms of the selection and the price.
I got a question for you. Yeah. So you're going to have figures that are exclusive for the game, like characters that are exclusive for the game. You already told me you're not giving a name to this character. It's a character that you can, as far as I understand, I'm not that versed into tabletop games, but you told me it's going to be a character that you can use and create your own character, your own style, and everything
for sure. Game. I mean, there's two different things that people are probably going to want to do. We're going to have pre-rolled characters that have stats already, that if people just are like, I just want to use one of their pre-established characters, you decide what name you want to use, you can do that. You can adjust it, or you can create a character from scratch. And we're going to offer a number of figures that are configurable, that are swappable, that are customizable, so you can make the right character for you. Right out of the gate, you're going to be able to play a human, an elf, a dwarf, a vampire, a skeleton, a jaguarian. There's a lot of different characters, some of which are common, like pretty much any role-playing game, you can play a human, a dwarf, an elf, but jaguarians are unique to us. Other role-playing games, it's not common that you play a vampire. It's certainly not common you play a skeleton. So there's going to be a lot of flexibility, and we're going to have figures available that you can, lay out and you can customize and you can configure the way you want with the armor and weapons to reflect your character, whether you want one of the ones we pre-build or whether you want to tweak it for your specific needs.
Oh, that's really cool. I got a question. So, talking about characters, are we going to be able to use the same characters that we know already from the line on the game?
If you want. So the main idea here is Mythic Legions has a storyline. This game is going to be set during the time of the Rise of the Dark Four. So the first stuff that we're going to release is going to be set basically before the return of Irithyr. Now, in the toy line is going to be what leads the story. We've seen Arethyr, Alithia, Poxus, and Necronominus all return as part of the Rise of the Dark Four storyline. So this game is technically a few years behind what we've seen in the toys. So it's going to be, that story is going to be happening. The adventures that we're going to put out there are going to be taking place parallel to that. So you may not be storming the Aetherhold trying to, fight Gorgo Aetherblade and get the Aetherblade back before he can recall Aether into Mythos. Maybe you're not going to be doing that. You're going to be doing something that's also helping out the factions of either the Legions of Light or the Legions of Dark, because you can be an evil character if you want, but not the main stuff. That's what we're going to present. But however, one of the great things about tabletop games is the flexibility. If your game master, the person who's leading the story, if they want you to be Attila Leasir and they don't want you to storm the Aetherhold and fight Gorgo Aetherblade, you will be able to do that. You're going to have to make some of the stats yourself, but that's where a seasoned game master is going to come into play. The game itself, we didn't build the rules 100% from scratch. We could have. We could have completely started a game from scratch, but there's a system called 5e 2014. It's what Dungeons & Dragons is built on. It's the most popular game system out there. They allow you to use that. It's called the Open Gaming License, so you can build a game on that. So we started with that base, so it would be familiar to seasoned gamers, and then we adjusted it for the realm of Mythos. At the end of the day, the goal is it's familiar to seasoned gamers, it's easy to use for people that have never gamed, and it's got unique Mythic Legions element, both for people that have played before and want something new, or people that love us and want to be in Mythos.
Well, this is a great opportunity to actually increase the bonds inside the community of Mythic Legions, because we are already like pretty much like family, all of us.
Very much.
Imagine playing every single day tabletop games between each other, trying to help each other or betray each other. I mean, you name it. And the cool thing is, like, I've seen this so digestible for people like me that don't understand the tabletop game. So the way you explain it to me, I think we were talking yesterday about it, it was so simple.
Yeah, it seems a lot more intimidating. If you've never played a role-playing game, it seems a lot more intimidating than it really is. At the end of the day, you have a game master, somebody that's telling the story, right? They're explaining what's happening. And then you have a group of other players. Well, you're adventurers. So you think about the classic adventure party, they're going on a quest of some kind. And that game master, they're going to explain a situation to you. They're going to say that, you enter this dungeon and you come to a locked door. Behind the door, you hear some muffled sounds, and then you hear a loud thump. What do you want to do? And then your party, as a group, decides what you're going to do. Well, say that you decide, let's try to see if the door's unlocked. Nope, it's locked. What do you do next? Okay, one of your characters is a thief. They have the ability to pick locks, so they're going to try to pick the lock. Well, that's where rolling comes into play. If you've ever seen role-playing dice, our figure comes with a 20-sided dice. You roll that dice for probability. The lower the roll, the less likely what you want to do succeeds. The higher the roll, the more likely. So say you roll an 18. That's a very good roll. You're going to be able to pick that lock, and then the door opens up, and the game master tells you what's beyond that door. It's a series of stories and decisions that you make. At the end of the day, that's what it boils down to. Here's a situation. How do you respond?
Oh, that's amazing. And you know what? Now that you're explaining me that, I'm picturing myself playing against Van and Jordan at Legion's Con in one of the rooms, like having like these tables with the role game, like playing against each other or with each other.
Yes.
I think I'm gonna picture myself as a traitor. I'm gonna betray everybody.
Okay.
Can I?
You can. And that's the thing too, is like, if you want to be a villainous character that is a charlatan, say you're part of the Sons of the Red Star, my favorite faction. So you're a bit of a cutthroat and you're adventuring with some heroic, characters. You can tell the game master, listen, like privately, my goal here is I'm working covert for somebody else. And on the surface, it's going to look like I'm helping, but I'm really trying to accomplish this. So there's a lot of really cool stuff that you can do in the game, or you can go super easy. There's something in role-playing games called hack and slash. Hack and slash is basically just, I want to go into a dungeon, find monsters, fight monsters, and take their stuff. If you want to do that, you absolutely can. And that's how a lot of people start, just hacking and slashing. But the more you play, the more you get into the different strategies.
If you want to be like an ogre like that one right there and beating the crap out of everybody, you can.
Yeah, tons of stuff that you can do here. It's very, very flexible. And you mentioned Legions Con. Last year, we had some gameplay at Legions Con. Cameron actually ran some sessions. We're going to be doing that again. So we're going to have a number of sessions both throughout Saturday and Sunday. So people that are new to gaming that want to experience it, there will be a way for you to sign up and be a part of that. Last year, we actually had some of our celebrity players. So we had Pete McCarthy from the My Wife Is Gonna Kill Me crew. We had D Amazing from Mezco, and over there, he's right over in his booth.
Yeah.
D, great photographer, longtime friend of the studio. He played. My son Jacob played, and then one of Cameron's friends played as well. That was kind of our celebrity group that Cameron really briefed in advance, so we could show that and live stream that. I think we're going to bring them all back and continue their adventure this year as well. So if you just want to see a game played, you can do that. If you want to play yourself, there'll be opportunities.
Hey, I'm going to be the badass player. But listen, I'm so happy to have you here in San Diego because it's so good and feels so good to have like a friend face here and the con because it's so overwhelming.
It is.
It's so overwhelming. I mean, it's crazy. But at the end of the day, having you guys here feels like we have a piece of home here.
It's been nice. I mean, I love meeting new people. It's been great to see a bunch of potential new fans here. But people like yourself, like I saw Brett started earlier, everybody that's here. We've got some of the Zone A crew here as well. Thomas is here. Seeing those friendly faces, it's absolutely awesome because we know that our family traveled with us to be a part of this too.
That's amazing. And again, Jeremy, thank you so much for your time. I know you guys are busy, and I know people are getting so excited for this line, for your toy company, and I'm so happy because you guys deserve the best.
Thank you, man. Thank you for always doing this. It's always wonderful to see you and talk to you.
Okay.